Y'all want to know something interesting? I was how many days? I was this many days old. Wow, and I'm just now realizing that my camera was not configured the way I usually have it, such as no exposure and no autofocus. Wow. I could have possibly messed up my last stream. I was this many days old when I realized that the time that YouTube gives you to start streams are just placeholder times, and I could have been giving my own personal time, whether it was like 1:23 or whatever, at any given time. All my years of doing live streams on YouTube, and I'm just now realizing that I can set the time to what I want it to be specifically, and not what time YouTube gives me access to. Such a simple concept, just over my head. But enough about that. Yo, peoples, my voice feels kind of hoarse. My voice feels kind of hoarse due to the last stream I just got done doing. A 1 hour and 45 minutes, 42 minutes long stream of the recent One Piece chapter, and I absolutely lost it. I screamed my voice out completely. It was utterly amazing. But now it's time for us to check out today's My Hero Academia chapter. Hello, Midoriya Shonen! Psycho, welcome back. Koiz, good to see you. And Michael Malger, good to see you as well. Let's go ahead and get started with this chapter. This is not going to be as long as my stream for One Piece that I just got done doing. We're going to go through this chapter. We're going to say I'm going to say what I need to say about it. And then I'm going to go eat. Yo! And we got a full color page cover for chapter 349, Battle Flame. And in this image, we have Dynamite, or God Explosion, Murder, Death Mountain Murder, whatever his name is at this time, and Mirko with her cybernetic enhancements with her arm and her leg as well, as they're jumping into action. So now we have Midoriya. Who's now flying. He is flying. It looks like he's using float, and he's repelling himself throughout the air. The dude can fly now. They fly now? They fly now. They fly now. He can fly. I knew he was gonna use the combination of his quirks to allow him to actually fly. But he's flying, and you know how Superman was learning how to fly in Superman and Man of Steel, and he was flying over the water, and you just saw this massive updraft of water being kicked out behind him as he hit that sonic barrier, that sound barrier. He's flying over the water right now at breakneck speeds, and he almost hits a seagull in the process. But he's flying, and he's thinking to himself, I'm using both the 7's float and the 3's Fajin. Air force pushes me forward and helps me keep balance, but I'm too slow. Out in these open waters, there's nothing for me to grab a hold of with the 5th's Black Whip. And there we're going back to when he used it before, when he was up against Lady Nagant. Full 100% would do the trick, but faster. I gotta get there faster. And then we got one of the other members as well, one of the other successors saying, don't lose your head. It's clouding your judgment. Those reinforcement parts can't withstand One for All at 100% power, right? Are you planning on getting hurt before reaching the battlefield? No. Or did you attempt to use my meta ability? Yo, do we finally get to find out what his quirk is? The second user. The second user's quirk. Do we finally get to find out what it is? Or did you attempt to use my meta ability? Yeah, I thought I told you that was meant to be your last resort. As One for All grew in strength, so too did all of our meta abilities within it. As a result, mine evolved into a particularly unique power. It's not something that can be wielded the usual way, as I once did. Don't fall into depression. This is a battle for the very future, yes? Have faith in your friends. They're all out there for their own reasons, knowing that should allow you to focus your energy on your own battlefield. Wow. So so we didn't get a reveal. He says, did you attempt to use my meta or did you attempt to use my ability? He says, yeah. And then he says, I thought I told you that was meant to be your last resort. As One For All grew in power, as One For All grew in strength, so too did all of our meta abilities within it. As a result, mine evolved into a particularly unique power. It's not something that can be wielded the usual way as I once did. So, whatever this power is, and here in this panel, it shows a massively locked door, which I'm assuming is where his quirk resides. But apparently, his quirk has evolved in a way where it cannot work the way he used to use it. He can't use it the way he used to. But it's particularly unique. Ooh, I can't wait. But he says, they're all out there. We're talking about his friends. They're all out there for their own reasons. Knowing that should allow you to focus your energy on your own battlefield. And as this is going on, we cut back to the island where Himiko Toga is facing off against Tsu and Uraraka, with Uraraka saying, he's gone. And then Tsuyu says, good. I don't think Midoriya could have ignored Toga for long. And then Tsuyu's saying, I can't stand the thought of a secret my friend holds dear being revealed like that. Oh, because she knows that Himiko Toga was trying to spoil the secret that Uraraka actually likes Midoriya. And she doesn't like the fact that Toga just tried to spoil it in front of Midoriya before Uraraka had the chance to tell him. So that's already put her at odds with Toga right now. I can't stand the thought of a secret my friends hold dear being revealed like that. And then Toga says, I've had enough. Izuku, Ochako, Tsuyu, I love you all, but I'm done. I'm ready to be who I want to be. All I want is to live the way that feels right to me. And then she thinks, right, Jean? And then she touches a canister on her, and then she says, I'm Himiko Toga, and I've got no use for heroes, so get ready to say bye-bye. And then Uraraka says, no thanks. I'm also living the way that's right for me, as Ochako Uraraka. And then it cuts to a completely separate environment where a big eruption of flames is happening, more than likely the area where Shoto and the rest of them are facing off against Dabi and the others. Kanagawa Prefecture, Kamino Ward, Ground Zero. There are already so few heroes left and you're losing more by the minute. Let's see, we got a Nomu and a raging sea of fire. This is really bringing back memories, even if it wasn't that long ago. Seeing that battle in Hosu spurred me to take action, you know? And here we have Toya, who's standing next to the statue of All Might after the fight that was erected after the fight between himself and All For One. He's standing here just in a sea of flames. Good God, we need a My Hero Academia, either Muso game or an action game, where it's just like this. We need a My Hero game that isn't that Battle Royale that's coming out. But Toya's just in here in the sea of flames, and he says, seeing that battle in Hosu spurred me to take action, you know? And then it's just a massive tornado of flames that's keeping Shoto and I guess Toya inside this sea of flames, like this big inferno that only Shoto and Toya are in right now, because everyone else is on the outside, with Ida saying, Shoto! The sheer heat, it's extraordinary. I can't get any closer lest it ruin my engines. And then Toya says, whoops, sorry, just yapping away to myself. Once again, he won't pay me any attention. It really bums me out that all I get is his third son and his 3 merry helpers. Is that really his answer to me, as it shows Toya using his flames to, cover the area in fire, as Shoto and the rest of them are at point blank where Toya is, as he's using his flames and his body is showing more and more burns over him. And we have more people here, with one of them saying, you keep back, kiddo, your body's got no way to withstand the heat. Endeavor's sidekick, Kido, oh, not Kiddo, but Kido. You keep back, Kido, your body's got no way to withstand the heat. Endeavor's sidekicks, Kido and Onima. And then Kido says, I'm good. You know I can alter the trajectory of anything, so I've just got to make all that hot air swerve around me. Nothing new for me. And then Kido says, as his bandages start to unwrap from him, he says, keep a cool head and go about it logically. That's how I've done it for a whole decade. Just like always, I'm here to follow our main man's orders because I want to. And then there's Burnin, who says, his family drama may be a can of worms, but Endeavor shows up and gets the job done, even if he does think like an old fart. And that includes today. Endeavor's sidekick, Burnin. That's the kind of accent that I'm giving her, even though she doesn't have that accent in the English dub anime because she's voiced by Amy Rose's classic voice actor from Sonic. And now he's handed us off 3 junior stinkers to you, so you got our full support, kid. As she says this to Shoto. And then Shoto says, thanks for that, Burnin. No thanks needed. Save your energy. And then Shoto says, Toya, Dabi, you've got it all wrong. I'm not here on anyone's orders. I'm standing here now because I made the decision to stop you. Stellar job being the perfect little pawn Dad always dreamed of. If I ignored you and kept trying to be a hero anyway, that just might be true. Hey, fair enough. This war's all about the people involved. It's not the mindless soldiers following orders who are the real movers and shakers. This is what happens when everyone's got feelings and urges that start firing off. And as he's saying this, it also shows Nomu, it shows Himiko Toga and Spinner with him saying, some want to change the world they live in, or destroy the warped imbalances built up, over time that we all just came to accept. And as he says this, it shows Shigaraki with his grotesque finger growths. And then he says, behold the limitations of superpowered society. That's me. That's all of us. And it shows his face steadily burning as he's, the effects of his flames harms himself the longer he uses it. And he's been using his flames for a long time now. So now his body's starting to feel the effects of it. And then Shoto says, you survived back then, so why didn't you come home? You really want to know? Fine. Happy to share. Rotten or not, I'm still your big bro. Here's the story of how I became Dabi. And the reason I'm still alive and kicking to tell the tale, even when I never stopped burning hotter than you, his masterpiece. Oh, so now we're about to see why Dabi is the way he is, why Toya is the way he is. And as he says this, it shows more and more of his flesh burning, as it shows not just the stitch part of his skin, but also shows the bone underneath his teeth. Now, I don't know if this is an artistic choice or if this actually means that Toya is literally burning the flesh from his very face. But now this also means that we're going to be getting the backstory of, oh my goodness, Cedes coming in with the super chat. My goodness. But that's the end of the chapter, and we're going on break. But from the way his face looks from here, no, actually, it is. It actually is. When it says, you really want to know what's going on with me, I believe that's a portion of his face crumbling and burning away and falling off of him. He's using his flame so much that he's burning himself down to the bone. That's not an exaggeration, because it shows his teeth. It shows the muscles that pretty much would allow his jaw to keep working. It shows his jaw that would allow his mouth to move. It shows like his whole bottom lip. And I could say, I'll show you over this, like as an example. All of this is just bare now. No gum, barely any gums. It just shows the skin, and it shows his flames as burning the bottom half of his face away. So how he's going to be able to say his B's, his V's. How can you say V's with no bottom lip? How can you say your P's with no bottom lip? How is he saying, okay, and the, you can say the without a bottom lip. Reason I'm How can you say your M's without a bottom lip? Still alive. How can you say your V's without a bottom lip? And kicking to tell the tale is even when I never stop burning hotter than tell the tale, even when I never stop burning hotter than you, his masterpiece. Masterpiece. 2 letters in that one word. How are you saying that with no bottom lip anymore? Because his body's just burning away. So lots of things teased here. Hey, CDez, kind of ease up on the emojis because otherwise it'll put it in for review and hold it and you won't be able to see it at that moment. So just maybe kind of dial back on the emojis. You don't need to, have 15 different rows of one thing that you can just show with one emoji. Otherwise, it's not going to show up for you. But so many things. Murder, death, mountain. Murder, death, murder, death, mountain, murder. Man can fly now. Horikoshi is teasing us. Yes, he's teasing us the second one for all users power. And apparently, since his has had the longest to cultivate over everyone else's, his is probably the most powerful out of everyone's. When you think about it. Out of everyone's powers, the one person whose powers who's had the least amount to be boosted by One for All was Nana Shimura's float, because All Might didn't have a quirk. He was born quirkless, which is why One for All worked the best for him. But Nana Shimura's float quirk is the least impacted. The least impacted by the sheer nature of One for All itself. But the second user, with the first user being All for One's brother, the second user after the first user, All for One's brother, his powers had the longest to just marinate. His has had the longest to just set in and become the most in-depth with his power. With the power of One for All. Which means that his has got to be the strongest out of everyone's. Even though we've seen Smokescreen, we've seen Black Whips, which have all been strengthened by One for All, his power has to be the strongest out of everyone, since his is the first quirk that was introduced to this combination. And it's been around for all these years. It's been around since All for One has been around, which means it's had pretty much I would dare say, a whole 100 years to cultivate into something. His has evolved. That's how long it's been. Got you rolling with your expression. How can you say V's with no bottom lip? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? How is he speaking with all these things with no bottom lip? But, seen a bunch of theories about the quirk being some weird laser or something, but I think it's one of those cases where speculation is useless here since it's basically a black box. Essentially. That's the reason why I can't say what I think the quirk is going to be. There could be speculations and theories, but we are literally at the mercy of Horikoshi right now on what this power could be. But whatever it's going to be, there's no doubt that it's going to be ridiculously strong. Because this power has had, since the formation of quirks, since the time that All for One was fighting all the previous successors, since he's been around, that quirk has had all this time to take in all the power and all the time it would take to evolve and become stronger. It's got to be the strongest power that Midoriya is going to have in his arsenal. I mean, even the second user himself says, like, this isn't a power that you can just wield normally like I could. It's become something different now. You can't just wield it. It will be extremely strong when Deku uses it. I'm surprised Dabi can even walk around without collapsing at the seams. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually happens. Can you imagine if he's telling his tale and suddenly just stops because his jaw falls off and he can't talk anymore? What a mental image. I mean, Horikoshi has not shied away from grisly images in My Hero Academia, from seeing people get maimed and skewered. It's just crazy. Sorry, I was just reading some of your comments that you guys were leaving. It's just crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if Toya doesn't get the chance to finish his tail or he doesn't get a chance to finish his fight because he's pushing his body to his limit. What we all know about Toya's fire ability, like his basic fire quirk, is that it does more harm to him the longer he does it. And he's basically erupted this massive inferno that's going on right now that has Shoto and Burnin, Kido, and Onido. They're all raptured in this place, and he's just using his flames underneath his feet to kind of float a little bit. Kind of akin to how the Fire Lord uses fire bending to fly after I was about to call him Luffy, after Aang when he went full Avatar state near the ending The Last Airbender. He's steadily using his flames to a monstrous degree, far more than he's ever done before, and it's doing more harm to his body to the point where he's starting to literally burn away. And I don't think he cares. Because not many people I would know in anime or any sort of series would see their bodies falling apart at the seams and still try to tell their story unless they're thinking about going out in the Big Bang in a very big way. But Toya's saying like he's going to tell his story about how he became Dabi, which is a story that I'm very interested in learning about as well. And plus, we have the fight between Himiko Toga and Uraraka and Asui as well that's going on. We got Midoriya, who's flying over the ocean using a combination of Fajin and Float in order to give him that much-needed boost, but he still says he's still moving too slow in order to get to that location. I think Dabi was saved by Stain somehow. I think Dr. Ujiko was the one that initially patched up Toya after the blaze, but I wonder if Ujiko intended on turning Toya into a type of Nomu. What being Deku is, he has basically become those All Might clips he loved so much. With him flying into that first panel, he has come so far. I want to see how fast he is in the animation. You know the animation is going to make him ridiculously fast. I can't wait to see it. Also, Muddy forgot to go into my stream in One Piece. How you doing? Was going to say, told you. See, here's the thing, Muddy. Got to be careful about talking about One Piece chapters because not everyone reads One Piece. A lot of people will just probably watch One Piece, so you got to be careful about potential spoilers about One Piece chapters because you never know if someone's in here and they only watch the anime, but they watch my reactions to it. So you just got to really be careful there, just in case. You never know. Izuku, also this chapter was dope. Second user's quirk hype, Ochako, Toga, and also finally get into the Todoroki Dabi stuff. Great stuff. It really is great stuff because we need this. We need this exposition. We need to know why Dabi is the way that he is. We know back in the past when he set fire to the forest when he was a child. We don't know what happened to Dabi after that. We don't know what happened to Toya after that and how he became Dabi. But going into the next chapter, hopefully it starts the next chapter, we find out how Toya became Dabi and how he became this member of the League of Villains. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the skirmish between Uraraka versus Himiko, and especially Asui, because Asui is already mad and upset that she was going to spoil that Uraraka liked Midoriya before it was appropriate. So Asui is already at odds with Himiko Toga right now. So that's going on. We didn't really get any views of what's going on with Bakugo against Shigaraki, just glimpses. We saw Spinner, we saw Shigaraki, we saw Toga. I don't even think we got any glimpses of All for One right now in these panels. No, we didn't. We just see Himiko Toga as Toya is talking about all the stuff that's going on. Like some want to change the world they live in or destroy the warped imbalances built up over time that we all just came to accept. Behold the limitations of superpowered society. That's me. That's all of us. So that's going on. We don't know what's going on with All for One against Endeavor and the rest of them. We just know that we're cutting between Uraraka facing off against Toga. And we have Shoto facing off against Toya, while pretty much Ida and everyone who's outside of the Inferno that Toya's trapped everyone inside can only watch. And Ida can't get close because otherwise it would damage his engines, and that's pretty much where his quirk comes from, so he really can't do anything. But Toya is here, floating in the air, as his body is slowly but surely starting to burn off. And he says, you really want to know? Fine, happy to share. Rotten or not, I'm still your big bro. Here's the story of how I became Dabi, and the reason I'm still alive and kicking to tell the tale, even when I never stopped burning hotter than you, his masterpiece. So we get to find out how he managed to keep his body together despite all this, despite all the numerous times he was burned, despite all the numerous times he set himself on fire. Was sort of laughing, Koya says, I sort of laughing when Ochako almost got her secret spilled, and it never crossed my mind. Deku would have been KO'd right there if Toga spilled the beans. Thankfully, Asui is the perfect wing woman for Uraraka and comes in and stops her with the most dramatic of ways of stopping a crush reveal by drop kicking Himiko off into the distance. Asui is the perfect wingman for Uraraka. Because that's the first thing that pops into Asui's head when we see her is I can't stand the thought of, hold on, I got to go back to it. Back when she said, here it is. She says, I can't stand the thought of a secret my friend holds dear being revealed like that. She really came in and drop kicked Himiko Toga because she was about to spoil the secret that Uraraka liked Midoriya, before Uraraka had a chance to actually say it in a more appropriate place. So she comes in and drop kicks her with a Might Guy level dynamic entry. And it's all like, yeah, now you're on my hit list because not because you're a villain, but because you're about to spoil my friend's secret. That's a good friend. That's a good friend right there. Asui is one of the most bestest of friends. I'm not fighting you. I didn't drop kick you. I'm not about to inflict pain on you because you're a villain threatening our way of life and threatening the world, but I'm doing it because you are about to spoil my friend's biggest secret that she holds so very dear to herself. That's why I'm fighting you. That's like Byakuya going up against Zomaru and saying, like, I'm not killing you because I'm a Soul Reaper. I'm not killing you because I'm a captain. I'm killing you because you aimed your sword at something that means very dear to me, meaning Rukia. That's essentially what Asui just did. And Asui was like, she knows too much. And dropkick. Asui has gone full on, so you have chosen death. That's essentially what she did. You gonna spoil my friend's secret? It's treason then. Like, Asui is one of the best characters, not just because she's who she is and with her quirks and everything, but because she's a great friend. She's willing to go out of her way to defend her friend and defend her honor, not because of the villains that they're facing, but because the secret means that much to her. That's how close she is to Uraraka, which is why she's so gung-ho on making sure that Toga did not spill the beans. Which is why Himiko got drop-kicked. Not drop-kicked. Drop-kicked. That's how serious it was. But this was a great chapter as well. We get to find out Toya's backstory, how he became Dabi. Hopefully we get to find out what the second's quirk actually is. I'm not going to go off into any theories about what it could possibly be. We just got to wait and see. But we have Midoriya, who's using float to fly over the ocean, Superman style, at high speeds, even though he's not using 100% of One For All, because the reinforcements that he has on him would not stand the strain, and he would be pretty much left without that sort of defense to help him out with his fight against Shigaraki. But he's flying across the ocean towards where they are right now, and only time will tell before we find out what this specific quirk actually is. So overall, this wasn't as long as my One Piece reaction, even though this is going on about 30 minutes. Overall, this was a great chapter for My Hero Academia. Like I said, there will not be any anime reactions to One Piece because they're still on hiatus indefinitely until they get everything sorted at Toei. So I'm going to take this time to eat this Philly steak that is still burning hot sitting here on my desk right now. And then I'm probably will just chill out until further notice. I got my hands on Ghostwire Tokyo, which is that new new game where you're fighting off against yokai spirits in first person, and you got all these weird cool powers and everything. That actually interests me, so I went ahead and bought it. And if you guys would like, I wouldn't mind playing that for you guys today when I get the chance. Once I'm freed up, still got to see if my dad still wants to eat Red Lobster later today, so I got to get in contact with him. But overall, great chapter, great chapters today. My voice still feels the effects of my screaming and all the talking that I did during my reaction to the One Piece chapter, so please forgive me if I don't sound as loud. It's just that chapter took a toll. Oh my goodness, we were not ready. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a session right here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything, because without people like you, this channel would not be as big as it is. It's not all the things that I'm capable of doing on this channel. I'm just grateful that God has given me this talent to give to you. And because you guys tune into what I do, you help keep this channel going. So it's not just what I do on this channel that matters. It's you guys coming here and being here that helps make this channel more noticeable. People are finding me from being in recommended and everything. I just want to say thank you for helping this channel get to where it is. Without you, it would not have been possible. Without God and you, this would not be possible. So I am grateful to you, Muddy, to you, One Life Man, to Koiz, to Midoriya Shonen, Karma, Psycho, anyone else who shows up to whatever I do. I'm appreciative and thankful for every single one of you. You help make this channel great. And you're also helping my dream of being able to do this full time and this be my full-time job so much closer. You guys don't even know. I just want to say thank you. But that's all I have for you today. We are going on break from this chapter of My Hero, so there won't be a chapter of My Hero next week. So the only thing that'll be happening next week is a One Piece reaction. And if the hiatus is still going on, then it's just going to be One Piece and nothing else. So I'll just keep you guys posted should anything change. But with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing or even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples. I will never, ever, ever get tired of this.